Hello guys, Yuvraj here from the Brainstormforce team, makers of the Astra theme for WordPress. And this is your weekly WordPress news. That means I collect the most important news about WordPress, SEO, and some other topics, and I present it to you in a simple, short, digestible format. So let's start with the most important stories for the day. The first story is about the WordPress Classic Editor. And for all you Classic Editor lovers, the evangelist, there's a ray of hope. I'd say some good news for you. The news officially is now official, or I'd say the news is now official, that the WordPress Classic Editor, the support for the Classic Editor has been extended for at least another year. So there was a news piece that broke out on WP Tavern blog. This is the blog that I'm looking at, but the news was officially or made official on the WordPress official blog post as well. So if you love the Classic Editor, you can still continue using it for at least another year before you eventually everybody has to switch to the block editor. So that's the first story for the day. Talking about the next story for the day is about the gallery plugin. So there was some GitHub pull request that the author noticed, Justin Tadlock, shout out to him. So he noticed the pull request was merged eventually, or I say after a long time, in the Gutenberg repository regarding the gallery plugin. And he noticed that a lot of interesting changes were happening. So instead of talking about all the details, I'll just show you some visuals on what is now possible with the gallery plugin. So I haven't actually tested the plugin out myself, but I'm interested and excited to see what will happen or what we can see in the upcoming gallery block plugin, which is expected to land with WordPress 5.9. So if there's an official update about when WordPress 5.9 is coming out, definitely you will watch it in this segment. So talking about the next story for the day is about WooCommerce. So WooCommerce 5.7.0 beta first, or the first version, the first beta is now official. You can now test it out. I haven't done that, but there has been some interesting, I'd say, bug fixes, a couple of extra features, and I'm assuming the update will also improve some sort of performance as well. So make sure to check it out. That's an interesting news for the day. And talking about WordPress, this is all the updates about WordPress. I'd say not too much exciting things happening, but there are a lot of interesting SEO related updates. So make sure to watch the complete video. So the first exciting, or I'd say not so exciting news about Google and SEO is that about Google Search Console. So it was officially reported by Google that some data about clicks and impressions in Google Search Console was lost. So if you just checked your Search Console reports and you saw that the data was wildly inaccurate, very different for the August 23rd and 24th, then don't worry, your site did not surprisingly or magically just completely tanked in the search results. The impressions and click remained the same, but the data for that was eventually lost. I'm not sure if the data will actually come back, but Google has officially reported this, and not everybody might experience this. For example, we tested this out on our websites and we didn't see any problems. So make sure to check it out. Make sure to check the Search Console data for your website. So that's one interesting news from Google. And talking about the next interesting update is about the Google spam update, or the let's say link spam update that was rolling out. If you don't remember, in the previous updates, I had mentioned that 3 updates in Google are rolling out simultaneously. It was the link spam update. It was also about the June core update, and also the page experience update. So it has officially been reported on 24th of August. So this is already 6 days old, but the link spam update, or the rollout for the link spam update, is now officially complete. So you don't need to worry about the link spam update messing up your rankings. So if your rankings are still fluctuating, attribute it to the other 2 rollout, or the other 2, I'd say, Google updates are rolling out. So that's the interesting story for the day. Talking about the next interesting story of the day is about updates to how Google started rewriting titles. So if you remember last week's story, I did mention that Google was rewriting titles for a lot of I'd say pages in the search results, and a lot of people were confused. Was that accidental? Was this a test, or was this something that we should look forward to or not look forward to? So Google made this official eventually, that okay, they are testing this out, and this is an official update that Google will start rewriting titles in the search results. How does it do it? What criteria are they using? It's still up for speculation. So make sure to watch this video and watch the future stories that we do, and also subscribe so that we can give you some details about this. So there is I'd say an article, or I'd say a blog post on the Google Search Central blog, which I'll link down below, and they have given some sort of details about how this is playing out. But there's also some interesting, I'd say, one forum post that John Mueller officially started on the Search Console Help Forum, where he was taking feedback on this, and this has officially, I'd say, blown up, which is an understatement. A lot of comments about this and a lot of feedback. So if you have some feedback for this, make sure to leave it on the specific forum post. I'll leave a link down in the description. And also, if you have suffered loss in clicks with this new update that Google is rewriting your I say titles, then you're not alone. A company called WordStream, which you probably have heard of, they're a pretty big firm about online advertising. So they reported that Google title rewrite dropped their CTRs up to 37%. So that's a really, really big number. So if something like this happened to you, or something like this happened to me, I'd be worried too. So they actually released a blog post about how they fixed it. So it might be, or I'd say if you have faced some sort of a drop in your click-through rates or maybe in rankings as well, this blog post might be an interesting read because it will tell you about how you can fix this on your website as well. So that's the interesting story for Google title rewrites. And coming to one more glitch in Google was about Google shopping, I'd say, Google shopping issues in the UK. So what happened was there were some issues in the Google shopping portal, or maybe the service in the UK, and that caused some sharp problems with some campaigns. So the technical term is KPI declines. That means key performance indicators. So if you're looking at maybe ROI, maybe looking at cost per acquisition, those numbers were wildly fluctuating because of issues in the UK edition, or UK, I'd say, division of the Google shopping segment. So if you're in the UK, a retailer who uses Google shopping a lot, maybe your issues, if you are facing issues recently, then this might be the leading cause of that. So that's another story from Google. And talking about the next interesting story is about Google changes. So an interesting report was recently published, or I'd say, I'll start with the bottom end of the story first. So Google actually updated the how to search portal that they have. The title is google.com/search, how search works. Of course, there'll be a link down in the description. So they revamped the website to make it a little bit better, more interactive. But the interesting thing that I observed from that is that Google actually mentioned how many changes they made to Google search last year. So the official number was that Google search, or Google officially made 4,500 changes to Google search in 2020. So in the last story, I assumed, or I think I attributed that, okay, Google might make maybe 500 changes to its search, or might make only around 500 changes to Google search. But the official number has come out. It's 4,500 searches, or 4,500 changes, in just 2020. And in 2021, who knows? Maybe the numbers will be published next year. So this just tells you how many changes are actually happening in Google search. The core updates that we see are just major parts of the Google changes. And talking about the next interesting story is about Google clarifying something about interstitials. So if you don't know interstitials, they are just wild pop-ups that appear as soon as you land on a website. So you land on a website, register for a webinar, download this free report, maybe download this ebook, sign up for an email list. And those are looked down upon by Google since, I say, many years. And they actually cause a drop in your rankings, or they're punished by Google if you have tons of interstitials on your website, because they hamper with the page experience. So what happened was there was some discussion going around the topic, and John Mueller actually clarified this, that you can use interstitials if you use them in a specific way. So instead of going through all the details, there's a blog post down in the description, and you kind of can see this is also an interstitial that pops up. So when is it okay to use? I'll just give you my version of what I understood. What they said was that don't just pop up an interstitial as soon as someone lands on a page. Maybe include it after some interaction. Maybe user has visited a few different pages, and then you pop up the interstitial. For example, when I was scrolling down, you notice that there was not an interstitial as soon as I opened the page, but when I scroll down, there was an interstitial on the page. So this is what Google is saying, that if you want to use pop-ups, this is okay only if you use it this way. Now for pop-ups, there are two kinds of people, one who love pop-ups, one who hate pop-ups. Make sure to let me know in the comments what kind of pop-up guy are you. Do you like pop-ups? Do you use pop-ups on your website? Make sure to let me know in the comments. And that's all the interesting news stories that I have for you today. If you enjoyed this video, found some value in it, then make sure to hit the like button. Maybe share it with a friend or a colleague who would appreciate this knowledge as well. And if you're not already subscribed, then I would appreciate if you subscribe to our channel, because we push out WordPress related content and also cover WordPress news on a weekly basis. And we would love to send you some notifications about what content we think might be helpful to you. As always, if you have any feedback, make sure to leave that in the comments. Watch some other videos that I'll place down here on the screen. And you're watching and listening to Yuvraj on the Brainstormforce channel. I'll catch you in the next video very soon. Till then, take care, stay safe, and have fun.